What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another weekly market breakdown on none other than US30. So, without further ado, let's get right on into this weekly market breakdown and let's see what we can anticipate for this upcoming week. So, as of right now, I'm on the weekly time frame, and as you guys can see, if you remember from my previous uploads on the weekly range, I was expecting price to be bullish after we cleared this low and tapped into this fib long that I had, I think from this low right here. I think we had that fib long just like this. Yes, we did. We tapped into 62%. And then from here, I was overall ideally bullish. Now, even though price has been moving pretty bullishly, doesn't mean it's going to continue and then clear these highs. There's still going to be potential chances of short-term rebalancing and imbalance being filled. So short-term pullbacks, in my opinion. And we are starting to lose that bullish momentum slowly but surely. So in my opinion, after having this bullish week, I'm expecting a potential maybe a drop down to, I say, 33,700 potentially. Let me just make this like a red line, and I'm gonna put the price tag around 33,700 ideally is where I'm expecting a potential retracement to. Why? Because we have this high of this last daily down candle, and we have this gap that needs to be filled within these two candles right here. So that's something that I'm going to be potentially anticipating based on the weekly, and we are losing that momentum. Another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull a fib from this high to this low. We are coming into this fib short that could potentially start to see some reaction. So that's one thing I want to keep in mind. So now we're going to move on to the daily time frame. And as you can see, price is slowly coming into this fib short area. And we are also approaching this daily order block right in here. So if we go to the two-day chart, you can see that we have this daily order block right here that price is slowly approaching. And honestly, if you want to change your fib to this high, you honestly could, and that could also work out. But in this point, I'm just gonna keep the full range. Matter of fact, I'll keep it like this just for right now. But regardless, it still has the same effect that I'm expecting. So let's go back to the daily. Right now, I'm expecting price to continue pushing above these highs. Let's get this with the dotted line. Continue pushing above these highs. And once we get into this, I say this is 35,000. This 35. Yeah, we have 35,000 right in here, which is ideally more than likely going to see another reaction. But from 35,000 to, I say, 36,000, from this 1,000 point area, I'm going to be expecting price to overall. This is where I'm looking for a majority short case scenarios. And if we don't get it, then I'm going to stick with my bullish bias and continue being bullish because I am long-term bullish. But I do think there's going to be a short-term retracement before we ideally continue pushing higher. And that's just my opinion. It doesn't mean it will happen, but this is based off of just what I personally think. I think once we come into this fib short and come into around 35,000, there's going to be a high chance that price is going to look for a potential retracement, potentially down to 33,700, like I was saying. And then from here, I would ideally be bullish again. And if you also pull your fib from this low to this high, and if it does come up to these areas, you'll see that fib long is going to be right in this 33,700 to 34,000 area right in here. So we have a lot to watch out for nonetheless. So we're gonna be paying attention to all that. But with that being said, now we're gonna slowly go down to the lower time frame and we're gonna get our intraday bias. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mark up these previous day's highs and previous day's lows. So we got the previous day's high right up here. Then we got the previous day's low. And as you can see, Friday wasn't the best price action for US30. It was pretty choppy compared to NAS 100, which had a pretty nice moves that you would have been able to catch, but US30 not so much. We're also going to mark up the previous day's Asian session range because Friday didn't have the Asian session range since it closes before the Asian session starts. So we have this Asian session range over here. We're going to have the 12 a.m. open, boom. And now, matter of fact, I'm not even going to do the 12 a.m. open because it already happened, but this is our overall outline. So now I'm going to be anticipating what I could likely see to happen. So I'm also going to take this previous day's low over here and this high over here into account, and I'm going to draw a fib to see if we rejected it in any form yet. As you can see, we did come close. We didn't tap into that 62%, which isn't ideally what I would want to see. So in my opinion, I think there's still a chance that price could come a little bit lower and try to tap into it, potentially clearing the liquidity below this previous day's low, have a false break, tap into the 62%. And if you look at where we are in price wise, it could tap into that 34,600 level also, which in my opinion would be a pretty clean move to see price go lower. So that's something that could potentially happen. Now we're going to also use this range that price is currently in. Just like this, we're going to use this fib, boom to boom. And you see that price is slowly losing that momentum while we're in this area. And you can also see that we're in this range from about 34,900 to 34,800 right in here. So from this 100-point range, I'm going to be anticipating price to ideally start to lose its momentum and potentially fall, come down to 34,600. And then from here, I would say I'm ideally ready to go back bullish, because if you remember what I was saying based over here, from 34,000 to 33,700 is ideally where I'm expecting price to have that push to the top side. So 34,700 is definitely going to be an area I'm going to be keeping my eye out on. But nonetheless, we're just going off of what we see. There's easy liquidity below all these lows. All these lows right over here. We have these lows, these lows, these lows. There's a lot of liquidity, in my opinion, for price to come down and clear. So that is something I'm going to be waiting for. So we have these lows that have been cleared, these lows. But it's an area where there's a lot of liquidity. And in my opinion, once we come down and clear it, if you go to the higher time frame, you have this 30-minute, no, this is the hour, 1 hour bullish order block right below all of these lows. And when there's order blocks in these areas below a lot of liquidity, there's more reason to believe that banks are going to target this area as a potential area where price is going to have a reaction from. So that's just something to keep in mind. So like I said, 34,600 and this fib long is going to be an area where I'm anticipating price to overall drop. We are already losing that momentum. So it's, in my opinion, I think it's a pretty good scenario to see price come lower. But only time will tell based off of 4 hour time frame. The last previous 4 hour candle was bearish, so there is a high chance that the next candles could start forming bearish and try to fill these wicks that were down here, because we haven't had a pullback in who knows how long. And if you look at this, pullback wise, it's still in need for a pullback. If you look at the continuation level, 34,700 is right in there. So it's only a matter of time before we get a retracement. Even if it's not now, then maybe sometime early in the week, maybe coming into Tuesday or Wednesday, after potentially the lows or highs of the week are made. But if we can drop down, clear this liquidity by Tuesday, Wednesday, I think that would be the low of the week to see price keep on expanding throughout the week. So that's basically my analysis of what my thoughts are on US30 as of right now, based off of higher time frame analysis and based off of intraday lower time frame analysis. So with that being said and done, it's a little quick video just with my thoughts and what I personally believe is going to happen on US30. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but this is personally what I believe. And if I'm wrong, then we just reevaluate and we just look back on the charts and we try to revamp what we already know is likely to happen. So with that being said, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend if you found it helpful. And also make sure you stay tuned for the live session trading sessions. I am going to be changing my trading style just a little bit. I'm going to be taking less setups because I'm going to be taking specific setups. I will go over it more in my next live trading session, which is going to be tomorrow morning, which is Monday, March 27th. So we'll see. And before anything, I'm going to show you guys my charts, not my charts, the news events that we're expecting this week to happen. So we're going to look at that as of right now. So let me just pull it up for you guys real quick. Boom, boom. We have news on Monday at 8:30 in the morning. We have news at Tuesday at 10 in the morning. We have news on Wednesday at 8:15. News on Thursday at 8:30. And we have news on Friday at 8:30, 9:45, and 10 o'clock. So Friday is going to be a pretty hectic day, and it is going to be NFP. So that is something to keep in mind. So this week could be a little hectic because it is NFP week, but nonetheless, it's not going to stop us from finding the best trading opportunities. So there's going to be news on basically every single day of this week. So it's going to be a pretty volatile week in my opinion. So that's something to be on the lookout for. I will let everyone know during my live trading sessions the day that the news is going to come out and what time it's going to come out. Because if you see my whiteboard right over here, I always write the news and the time it comes out, because even though I don't really care about fundamentals, I know that when the fundamentals come out during those times that the news is released, there's going to be a fluctuation of volatility and orders being put into the market. And what that benefits me is because I know when there's a lot of orders and there's a lot of volatility, the likelihood of a trade playing out is going to be far more likely than for me to be trading when there's a lack of volatility where I can get caught in consolidation. Because I don't want to be trading during the Asian session because I'm going to get caught in volatility. I want to be trading during the New York session. Here, let me get this off. I don't want to be trading inside of this because it's consolidation. I want to be trading during the New York session right down here because I can catch this volatility. Same thing up here. New York session. Look at all the volatility. Late New York session. Going into Asian session. Volatility. If you look over here, Asian session, range. New York session, volatility. That's the reason we trade at these times, because we want to have the best chance of being able to catch these moves. So with that being said, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you all tomorrow morning, and enjoy the rest of the weekend. Stay productive, and I will see you all soon.